Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426 and today we have the review of the newly released Figurized Standard Amplified Machinedramon. So this is a Digimon model kit and this is not the first time we're seeing this. We had the old, a few years ago I did review the Omegamon, the original Omegamon model kit, which was kind of sticker heavy and there were some brittle parts, but later they released this new line called the Figurized Standard Amplified, and then they made a renewal version of the Omegamon, which I assume which should be a better kit, and then they released the Metal Greymon, not Metal Greymon, the Metal Garumon, or Metal Garumon, wargreymon, and then their black versions, and then Untitled, and then finally they released this, which was a really interesting kit, because this is actually the past ones, they were all somehow related to the main character stuff. This one, on the other hand, is actually the enemy character, which was really welcoming for me because it was a unique thing, because we don't really see this too often. When it comes to non-Gunpla stuff, they would usually focus on the main character, but yeah, it was interesting for me to see this, which was why I got this right away. Now, back in Korea, the original anime, in the original anime, they actually showed this name as Powerdramon. I'm not sure if it was the same in the Japanese series, but still, yeah. So I would like to mention that I would like to apologize if I actually accidentally called this guy Powerdramon, because in Korea, we know this guy as Powerdramon because it was a big hit anime at the time as my generation. So yeah. So alright, so let's go over the components right away. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Machinedramon itself. I really love the huge mechanical, like, dinosaur design going on here. I really love it. I really enjoyed the build as well. And there were some interesting parts they used, and I really enjoyed it. And here is the sticker sheet. You can see this is a silver sticker. So other than these black ones here, the 6 ones, the rest of them are all silver stickers. So, but the interesting part is that when you peel them off, the other side is also this metallic silver, as you can see. So these parts were used on the red parts that you see. Minus not the ones on the shoulders, but such as the head, the eyes, and this orb part on the arms. When you apply them, you actually, on the other side, you also apply the metallic stickers to get that extra shine. Now, some of them work, some of them were kind of unnecessary. I'll point that out later. Other than that, we have some leftover polycaps right over here. Nothing too special going on here. Of course, these polycaps are not your typical Gunpla type polycaps, because they are all huge, very huge polycaps. And then here is a leftover of the cables that you use on the neck and the tail. So just wanted to point that out. So before we go over articulation, I would like to show you guys some comparisons, because ever since last night, everybody was asking me to do some size comparisons, which I did with an HUC Gym Custom, but none of you guys seem to be looking at the pictures and just start spamming questions without watching my post or reading my post. So here is a HUC, the Premium Bandai exclusive HUC Jegan Type D Escort type. So the main reason why I brought out a Jegan this time is because the Jegans are slightly taller than your typical mobile suit out there. So you can still see the height difference. It's a huge, and even the bulk is also a huge bulk. Of course, if you take out the infinity cannons on the back, it may look like a typical dinosaur, scale, but still you can see how bigger than how big this kit is than the HUC kit. And if that's not too convincing, here is a Master Grade. So here is the Premium Bandai exclusive Master Grade Jegan Type D initial deployment type. So once again, the reason why I brought out a Master Grade Jegan is that Jegans are slightly taller, and the Master Grade Jegan is on the tall side. And you can see height-wise, if you of course exclude the infinity cannons, it should be technically the same height. But keep in mind, this character has always been in this crouched position. So I can technically make him go even taller, so just keep that in mind. So you can definitely tell, like, the size, the tallness, and bulk is no joke on this kit. And I did not take a picture, but I also went to Gundam Base to buy this, and then it was definitely much bigger than the Metal Garumon and wargreymon. So, alright, so now let's go over the articulation here. So let's start with the head as usual. Now this kit does have some few flaws, but they're not too bad. So number one, the head. Let's start with the head. So here we have this rubber cable that's going out from its mouth and actually connecting to the inside body. And here is that electrical cable that is pretty much consisting the neck part. So the neck part, there's no actual pegs or joints connecting these plastic pieces. The only thing that's connecting it is these cables. So that was an interesting take on. Now this rubber cable on the outside goes inside to the main body. This one on the neck does not. So you don't need to worry too much. So with the joint here on the main head that connects the neck to the head, you can go up and down here, and then with the neck joint entirely, you are able to go up, but because of the cable and the plastic here, there's not much space between them. It's not going to stay in that position time to time, so it will move on its own, and you can go slightly down as well. And you can move the head side to side. You can't go 360 because of the cables, and you are able to move the entire neck side to side as well, but once again 360 is not possible because you would pretty much tangle up the rubber. Now the eyes here, the eyes are also red, uses these red clear pieces. Now in the original anime, this guy, one of the distinctive features of this guy had, or characteristics, was that the eyes were entirely black. So in this square it would just be pure black, so which my guess is pretty much shadow covering up his eyes, but that was a unique feature or characteristics that the character had. So but still good to see his eyes now. The eyes also has those silver stickers on the other side, but I think that was just a wasted potential. It wasn't too necessary, because I think if he didn't apply those stickers, he might have gotten a light piping system going on there. And then here we have these red orbs going on all over the kit. Now the shoulders are just pieces you just apply, but these ones on the, let's say for example the head here, there is a metallic sticker under that part as well, and the other parts, like for here for example, the stickers apply on the other side, the opposite side, to get that extra shine. Alright, so we've seen that on the neck. Now let's get the main body here. So the main body, now when you're building this kit, you might there is this extra joint here that's inside here that connects the belly, the middle waist, that connects the middle waist and the main body top here. It looks like there is a extra joint that allows you to move to have an ab crunch, but no, the front armor and the back armor is just too thick that it doesn't really, the joints are actually hindered, so there's no movement here. But between the waist section, the lower waist section, and the main middle body here, there is actually another joint there, so you actually get a nice bend on the front section here. So you have a nice bend going on here. So like that, you can see that right over there. So that's a pretty good joint going on there as well. And then before we go to the arms, let's go over the shoulder joint, the chest first. Sorry about that. So the chest, I'm not sure these are the exact same weapons are the Metal Greymon, but you can open the chest like Metal Greymon. There's no kit of that yet, but I would assume with this mold here, they could totally make a Metal Greymon mold kit with this. So here we can open the head, and these are, I believe they're on the manual or on the box, they call these warheads. So I'm going to assume they're much more powerful than Metal Greymons. And you can close them up as well. And the hatches also have these teeth going on here, so that that guarantees locking up the chest, so they won't open on their own. So that's a very nice detail, and I really like the waist here where the blue wire and the red wire are interchanging on the middle. So that's good. But keep in mind, these wires are not rubber; these are all plastic pieces. So don't try to bend them, or you're going to break them. Okay, now before we go to the arms, let's look at the shoulder parts. Now the shoulder parts, they may look like they don't move at the moment, but you can also extend the joints here. Let me just make sure I'm not breaking anything. You can extend the joints here, and now you can move forward and backward as well. So that's a very good engineering and detail going on there. And if you're wondering if the body can move side to side, you are able to go side to side, but not 360, because obviously there are parts going to be blocking the way. And the arm is able to go 360 as well. So this is the only issue I'm having with this arm here. So this is called the booster claw, and then I believe the other one was called something, which was also a pretty interesting name. I keep forgetting the names. Yeah. Let's see what it was called. Yeah, the Mega Hand. Yeah. So the one here is called the Mega Hand. Here is called the Booster Claw. My only guess is that when I was also balancing this kit would sometimes tilt to the left a little bit, which my guess is that this the Booster Claw arm is slightly heavier than the other side, which is why this is happening. But it's no big deal. I can always fix that as well. So we've seen that 360 is no problem as well. And each of these joints, like the legs and the arms, they have these semi-ratchet joints, so you can kind of feel that, like the locking mechanism when you're moving the arms. So that's a very good detail. They knew that this kit was going to be heavy as well, so they apply those as well. I'm not sure if the past kits had those, but yeah. And then we have a nice bend going on here. So the bend should be the same for the other arm as well, so no difference there. And then the arms can go to the side a little bit, but once again, that's all the joints that's going to allow you, so no 90-degree side-to-side movement. And the lower arm, it may this can also rotate on its own, so that's a pretty nice extra bonus if you ask me. Same goes for to the other arm as well. And then now these claws. When you're first building this kit, the claws should be on a single piece, but they actually tell you to cut off in the middle so that you can ensure the claws move on their own. So that's a pretty good detail going on here, and I really like these claw designs. And on the other arm, the Mega Claw, or the Mega Hand. So you can open up these to reveal like another cannon here, and make sure you actually plug these parts in there entirely, or they will pop off if you did not do it correctly. So that's that, and I really love these built-in weapons, and they look fantastic. Now before we go to the legs, let's go over to the back here. So here we have the back. Now here we have the tail. This also uses the cable. Now compared to the neck, you don't actually really see the cables that much. Now, I pretty much did not leave any space, so you can't really move it up and down, or you can't really change the shape of the tail. But if you want to do that, my only guess is that you have to ensure that you have some extra space between these pieces. But for now, what I did is that there's no extra space, so it's pretty much going to be stuck in this position all the time. But you are able to go to side, time to time. But once again, they will go back to their original positions soon. And now here we have the Infinity Cannons. So they are these huge giant cannons on the back, as you can see. These are his Machinedram's ultimate weapon. Now, despite how they look, now these red cables, they may look like cables, but they're all plastic pieces. So don't try to bend them as well. They look like they might be on pegs, but they're actually on plastic ball joints. So you are able to go side to side as well. And then you are able to go backward and forward with no problems at all. And they are a pretty stiff connection, so they aren't going to be wobbly. So yeah, you shouldn't have any problems here. And there goes the other arm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to apply some paint here to ensure that that doesn't happen too often. So you can move the cannon forward as well, and you can always bend the front part to give that extra shooting effect part as well. Really liking that. And the good part is that the cannons are also, the inside is kind of hollow up to that black piece, so you can definitely if you want to modify this to put some LEDs or to connect some effect parts, that would be great. Now for the legs. Now, as I mentioned, this character has never been seen walking. I don't think we've actually seen this guy walk before, or I might need to recheck the anime. He would just always be standing like this in his crouched position like this, with his knees slightly bent. So technically, if you want to make him look taller, you can always just straighten up the legs like this. Of course, this looks kind of awkward to me at this point, so which is why I would always bend bend the knees time to time. Alright, and as I mentioned, like the arms, the legs also have a nice ratchet joint going on here, and there goes the arm again. So the legs can go forward about 90 degrees and backwards 90 degrees, or technically a little bit more if you want to do so, because there's no front or back skirt armor as well. The legs don't go to the side too much. This is as far as you can go, because that's all the joints you get. And then the knee section here, you have these skeletons or skulls here. So if you look at the skull, the black eyes and the nose are stickers, so that's 6 in total, because we have one on the other side. And then when you bend the knees, you can actually bend. It's a nice double jointed bend, but you can also see that when you bend the knees or the legs, you can see the skeleton mouth is also, the skull mouth is also opening. So that's a pretty nice detail going on here, nice design here. Of course, if you don't want that to happen, make sure you close the mouth, and then you hold the head here, and then bend the top section joint to get that extra bend and not to open the mouth. And then the feet here, each toe here is all individually articulated with a ball joint here. We have a nice pivot joint going on here. Now there's no ball joint on the feet, they're all pegs and joints going on here, so we have that. And then you are able to, we have also a nice bend on the ankles here, and then also a toe bend like that. So yeah, sorry about that. The articulation on the feet are pretty good, and they're all stable joints. So there's no loose pieces or no loose parts. So balancing this kit shouldn't be a big problem. It's just finding the right angle of the feet to get that right position that we see in the anime is the most tricky part, if you ask me. And that's pretty much it for the review. So once again, I really like this kit. I really enjoyed the build. All the parts were big and chunky, and then I really like the mechanical detail. For those who are a big fan of either this character or always wanted to have like a mechanical dinosaur model kit, but that's also big, this is your kit. Granted, it is slightly more expensive compared to the past few kits, like the Untitled Garumon or wargreymon, but considering the size and quality of this kit, I would definitely give it a big thumbs up. I really like the size, the mechanical details are fun, and there's just so much, this thing would have a big presence in your shelf as well. So I would highly recommend it, of course. It really depends on your taste. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the Figure-Rise Standard Amplified Machinedramon. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!